So a bit of a weekend update. It's now Saturday morning. It's been a bit drizzly overnight, which has slowed down the combining side of things. But we are whole cropping for now. And yeah, we've got a couple of trailers on from BG Pierce just to keep us going, because we thought obviously we'd be combining first thing, and that we were going to need quite a few trailers both sides, but for the time being we don't. We've got Ant and Tony only working this morning. Andrew's off today, so we had to get some cover, which is why I am here. I thought I may be driving a tractor and trailer, but for the time being I'm not. I thought I'd be jumping in the tractor that Josh has been driving this week, because for today he's taking on his dad's 8R while Andrew's at a wedding. So Josh is motoring around in that one. But for now, Forage has just got a couple bits that need changing on the header, so we're going to get that done and then crack on and carry on with this oat harvest. So I mentioned we're just changing some parts over. Just got that far side knife holder with the, as you can see this side, you've got a bit of a trumpet over the top of it. Just replacing that one. It was a bit of a job to get it off, so the trailers are all back in the field now. See, we've got Charlie and Martin from Pierce's. As I mentioned earlier, they told me to refer to them as number 1 and number 2. But we're yeah, it's nearly back on now, so we're almost back up and running again. And then from there we'll have Josh filled up first. And currently, as you see, Dad's here in the field at the moment, so Flynn is taking on buckraking. So hopefully now back up and running. Decent view here over the crop. We've got Josh in the 370. The metal detector alarm's just gone off on the forager. Picked something up in the field. So that's the second time of asking. It does look like we're up and going again. The sun's come out as well, it's quite warm, so that's obviously a good sign for progress on the combine later on. Josh's trailer's now nearly full. Moisey's pouring on behind. We've got a tight squeeze with the header going from field to field. It's quicker if you don't have to take it off. The header's 6 meters, and I reckon the gateway between the posts was probably 6.05 maybe. But he's through, so that saves a bit of time. So this will be the second time in a week. I am well and truly spoiling you, but I am now jumping in Flyn's tractor, rolling trailer on the back. We're going to go and start combining up near Barnstable. You see Harry's reversing behind me. He's going to head up. He's got Dad with him to go grab the combine from the yard at Chorley. Drive up there. I'm going to head up there in this one as well, and yeah, we will make a start on the winter wheat. Safe and sound, just to prove the doubt was wrong. So we've Harry and Dad are about a minute away. Harry's bringing up another tractor and trailer. Dad's in the combine behind him. We're going to shoot across and pick up the header trailer, which is already up here, and then from there we will make a start. Some crop's looking good, looking dry, so hopefully ready to rock and roll. So Harry's just turned up. Trailer's coming off. We're going to take this one up to get the header. Obviously I've demoted myself back to passenger seat. Probably save us a good 10 minutes by letting someone else drive. And away we go. Dad will be following on behind shortly. We might even meet him in a second. So end of Saturday update. Not going to start combining. So I did do a bit of tractor driving, but won't be doing any hauling. The rain last night is just not dried off enough. And obviously with a few days nice weather lined up, we don't want to have to dry the grain if we don't have to. So either look again middle of the day tomorrow or Monday morning. Good morning, everyone. You'll see my surroundings have changed a bit very quickly there. We didn't go combining on Saturday. Yeah, the grain just is a little bit too damp. And similar situation yesterday. It was kind of drying out yesterday, so it's now Monday morning. Hopefully get up there and start getting the wheat off today. And this morning Will has gone off and he's harvesting spring barley on our uncle's farm for him. So we'll catch up with them later. We'll catch up with Will first in the forager, and then later on hopefully the combine's going and we're able to get a bit of winter wheat off. I'll head down to the grain store in the meantime as well, because we've got a little bit of work to do there. Dad and Harry are there at the moment, just moving the hopper above the auger to feed the dryer, just in case any of the grain is going to have to be dried. Just get the dryer up and running, so that we're in a position to dry should we need to. Hopefully we don't need to dry too many loads this year. Last year it got to the stage where it's pretty much every load was dried. Obviously a cost you don't really want to incur, but it does get to the stage during harvest sometimes where you've got to do that. Hopefully this year we don't have to dry too much of it, but for now I will head over and check in on William. So here we are, we're over at Northcott Farm. You can see Andrew's on one of the trailers, back in his 370. So we've got 7 fields to take off here. These are the ones that are furthest from the farm. So we'll now run along this farm track in front of those sheds you can see between the trees, and then over to the silage pit. So here we are through the field now. As I mentioned earlier, we've got spring barley being harvested. The sun's just come out and it is pretty hot here now. I've just spoken to Harry on the phone. They're up with the combine, and at the moment the grain's not really dry enough to crack on. They've checked a few different blocks of wheat we've got up there. At the moment, none of it's really where it needs to be. So one of those things. See whether the sun is going to come out, and hopefully change things by this afternoon, or whether we do dry the first few loads just while the weather's doing what it needs to do. Whether we dry the first couple of loads just to get it down to where the moisture content needs to be. So as you can see, the new machine is now running nicely after the issues we did have. We did a little bit of maintenance work on the header this morning before heading up here. As you saw at the start of this video, on Saturday we had a slight problem which we were able to kind of resolve to get us through the day, but then this morning just did a more of a permanent fix, and then we are good to go again. It's not a tremendous amount of whole crop left now this season. So as you see here, Josh's trailer is very nearly full. We'll get this one filled and he'll head back to the silage pit. I'll head that way now and just catch up with Tony. After this field there's 2 more over that hedgeway, and then we've got 3 more fields just in behind the trees at the end of this field. So you can see here some of the fields are down a nice farm track which leads back to the farm. Bit of a windy one, but yeah, it's nice. Everything is on farm. And then as you see where Andrew is further up there, we are cutting across the field in front of the sheds. Just takes out having to maneuver through the farmyard. So this is what we've done down at the grain store. For those of you that watched quite a few of the videos, you'll remember that this big hopper we usually saw over there, but drag it over the top of this auger, 40-ton batch dryer, and that's where we feed it from. So Dad, Harry and Flynn came down this morning and did that. They are currently combining. So then once it's dried, comes through the chute and into the grain store. Just got to move a couple things out, but yeah, they'll be bringing grain back this afternoon. I'm going to head up that way now. Obviously, I said I was going to catch up with Tony buckraking, but I did do a video and I managed to accidentally delete it, so that one's not on here. But yeah, he's pushing away that Wholecrop barley in a 250 as always. Interestingly, Dad was buckraking on Saturday in Tony's 250, and he said he was very pleasantly surprised actually with the performance of it on the silage pit. Obviously, he usually uses his 410, so yeah, he was quite happy using that one on Saturday, much to his surprise. So here's what we want to see. The combine is out and going this afternoon. So the first field's already been done. We in this 60-acre block, we've harvested the last drilled first. The last field was drilled a month or so, maybe 6 weeks later than the rest of the block, into a variety called X Days, which is an early ripening variety. So that one's come off first, and it's down a track from the rest of the block. So it's nice to get that one out of the way. The rest of this block is Beowulf. So once we've got a good picture of how it's yielding, I'll keep you updated. But it looks very positive just from walking through the crop. And yeah, Dad seems quite happy with how it looks. So obviously that's not always the best indication, but we will see how it's going. The X Days, considering the drilling date and also how it kind of looked in mid to late December, seems to have come off quite well. But again, I'll be able to give you a better kind of indication on yield once we know for sure. But judging from operations centre, it seems quite positive, all things considered, because that field has a bit of a flat pan at the top of it, and it sat a bit wet in December and January, and the rest of the field on the slope was doing much better than the top, but come harvest it had caught up quite well. But the variety you see Dad in now is Beowulf, and it seems to be coming off quite nicely. From what I gather, we will be drying these first few loads. I don't think the grain's quite got to the moisture content that it needs to. It's nearly there, but the sun's just not quite out enough. It's a little bit too cloudy to kind of get that sun beating down and dry it off properly. But while we're up here, we can crack on, get the first few loads dried, and hopefully the weather plays ball this week. As like I've mentioned before, we've got a lot kind of coming ripe at the same time, and it would be nice to be able to have a good solid few weeks where we can just crack straight into it. I'll just give you a decent view now of the grain bin. That's what we do it for. Filling up nicely. Flyn's just moved the header for Dad and headed off to get his trailer, so he'll be here shortly, ready for a tip from the combine. I'm a couple fields over at this point, so I'm a little bit skeptical on getting too close. Still not quite brave enough. And at this point, the drone told me it had run out of battery, so home I went. So we've got Dad on the bottom headland of this field. I'm just stood on what he's cut. I have just been told by our agronomist that field on its own that we harvested first is actually champion, not X Days. So I thought I better get my facts right. I don't want to be told that I'm fabricating things. So you can see that grain bin is pretty much full, and at the moment we've just got the two trailers on. Dad may well have someone else on the way up by now that we're going. I'd have thought, I passed Harry on the way here. He'll be tipping his load at the moment, most likely called Ant, so that we can get the Fastrac and the Bunning grain trailer up here. Just as he turns towards us. I did wonder if it might be his plan to cut up through. We'll see. No, he's turned around. I wondered if he might cut up through because there's a gate just where he has stopped there. There's also a gate opposite that on the road. There's quite good access to be able to drive straight down across the field. But he knows better than me. That was the plan I had in my head, but it's most likely not the cleverest of plans. So Harry's back, taking his second tip. When nature calls. He's had a 10-20 minute wait, but Ant is also on his way up, so that'll mean no waiting for trailers going forward. So a few more little drone clips there since Harry's returned to the field, and then a bit of a view now of Harry taking a second load from the combine on the move. Got a decent view of Codden Hill above, and as I pan round you'll look down into the valley. It's pretty nice place to have to work. Just ruined by a bit of a dust cloud, but there's not a lot I can do about that. In terms of the yield, don't have an exact amount at the moment, but Dad is very happy with how it's turning out and what the combine's telling him, so that's a positive. We're going to call it a day there for today's video. You can see Dad's very nearly full again from the top of his combine there. Just waiting on the next trailer, which should be Ant in the JCB with the Bunning. Should be here any minute really. And yeah, like I said, Dad's very happy with how this is turning out. He's got Ant on his way and one more trailer as well, so to keep them busy this evening until it rains. We're just praying that from now on it's not too much rain. And like I say, I'll call it a day there for now. I have just realised that Ant is actually in the field, so Dad won't be waiting at all. So we'll call it a day. I'll be with you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all your support as always, and we'll see you tomorrow for a bit more combining and whatever else may come. While we're here, we might as well watch Ant start to be filled. He's got the new Bunning on with the rollover sheet. I'll just step to my left so you've got a view of it. So that'll mean now, with the amount of trailers on, Dad shouldn't have to be waiting at all, which is obviously good. You don't really want to keep the combine waiting if you don't have to. So that's great. We'll leave them to it for now this evening, and we'll catch up with again tomorrow. Cheers.